Welcome. My name is Halima, and this is Message Reveal with an ED on the end. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, and a story told through music lyrics. I'm so excited today regarding our guest. I have to tell you a little bit about her. Our guest, she owns a quick IT help tech cafe. And you jump in here if I said anything wrong. She provides services remotely and in person. She supports everyday users and small businesses. So please put your hands together and let's welcome our beautiful guest. Her name is Summer-Joi Cheatham. Cheatham, say it for me.
Cheatham.
Cheatham, I did say it right. Okay, give her a round of applause. Yay! I'm so happy to have you on. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. It's my first time doing something. So if I start rambling, just,
It is
reel me back
okay.
in. But
It is okay.
My name is Summer-Joi Cheatham, Summer-Joi being my full first name. Born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. As you said, have the business Quick IT Help. We did kind of restructure a little bit. We are starting with supporting small businesses and things like that with their everyday IT needs and management of their devices and things. We do still help out individual users as well, but we've also added teaching or educational classes about IT to help people get into the industry. So we host those classes sometimes with the city of Las Vegas and their environment, and then sometimes we host the classes ourselves in other locations.
Amazing. So let's go down memory lane. Tell
Mhm.
me, because this is such a unique field and we know it's growing, but tell me, how did you get your foot or your niche into this particular technology background?
So my dad is a huge computer nerd. He knows how to hack, he knows how to build computers, X, Y, and Z. My sister, I have two sisters above me, the one right directly above me. She is his like prodigy, so she's also a giant nerd when it comes to tech. I was just kind of like the basic person. However, around like 2017, 2018, I wasn't in Vegas. I was out in Atlanta trying to pursue other ways to figure out what I wanted to do in life. I ended up coming back to Vegas because I hated my job at the time and I needed just to do something else. My sister introduced us to a program called Tech Impact, and I took their IT Works class and got certified with my A plus, and then they help you with getting an internship and a job after the program.
Okay, I need to pause for a minute. For us non-techie, non-IT people, you said for A plus. Can you explain what that is?
So the CompTIA A plus is they made one before it, but it's basically the very first certification when it comes to anything IT. If you're interested in anything IT, that's the first place to go because it'll teach you the very basics of computer hardware and computer functions. And then once you have that, then you can branch off into other certifications that they have.
Okay, that okay, because we need to know this. We don't know this, and we want to unfold your story. Okay, so go on.
So after the program, I got hired at my first IT job. It was with Robert Half and a service center that they have that they created and they're trying to build. I was there for 4 years. Each year I had a different position. So I went from being a tier one IT tech to being the actual program trainer. So training people to
Wow,
do exactly what I did when I came in. So
nice.
yes, so that was fun, but again, I got tired of that because that's not really what I wanted to do. That wasn't my path in life. After doing a whole lot of searching and things like that within myself, come to find out I am a facilitator, and that's what I like to do is facilitate and help people with their needs. So I went into IT, and my biggest goal with this business and this project that I'm building is to become a massive facilitator for developers and people who want to get into IT and really show the world what the world of IT really looks like, because it's more than just playing with computers and things like that. We have drones, we have headsets, we have, we can play with clothes and things like that. So,
Wow. If I can point out, you are a beautiful Black woman like myself,
yeah,
and you are super young in the game. I don't know, can I put you on the spot? And
yeah.
can I say you're in your early 20s, correct? No.
I'm I'm turning 27 in 2 weeks.
Okay, well, you
Two
still
short
young, honey. You in your 20s.
weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
I think this is absolutely amazing. And it sounds like, just hearing your story, that your dad was the one that sprinkled the seed even in this area. Um,
Yeah.
can you tell a little bit about your dad? Because you said he did multiple things. I know it's about you, but I'm trying to give the audience a background of how this encouraged you. What was it that your dad did or showed you that really stood out and you're like, okay, I need to be a part of that in some kind of way?
So my dad, for one, my parents are divorced, so I grew up with my dad as my main parent. He raised me and my sister and I. And we grew up playing video games with him. We grew up watching him. He was the manager of Sprint at the time. So he did the entire merger of Sprint together with Nextel thing. He did that whole thing.
Wow.
So I went to, since I was in elementary, a lot of the times he couldn't leave me at home alone. So I went to a lot of the meetings with him. I saw him do a whole lot of like firing and directing of his team and things like that. And then I saw him coaching my sister when it came to computers and learning about that entire world. So I didn't really have an interest in all of that. I didn't really know at the time I was going to be his managerial side and she was going to be his technical side. Um, but for him, it was just we emulate a lot of what he is now. But I also have parts of my mom where it's the giving part. My mom is a huge churchgoer. She goes religiously every Sunday. Every Sunday morning, there is gospel playing, no matter what. So, she prays on everything. She sings in the choir for the church and everything. Her dad was a pastor and a prophet, and I have her side of wanting to give. Um, so I'm a mix of both my parents. It's just my dad's tech influence was more only because the industry, one, is growing, two, is a little more stable, and three, I'm not hugely religious. So I mean, I believe in God and everything, but I'm more of a spiritual person. So I lean
Well,
more towards my dad's aspect.
I think it's a great combination. We wouldn't have you here if all of that did not pour into you, mom and dad.
Yes.
With that being said, I absolutely love your name, Summer Joy.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about how that name was identified for you?
So I asked my dad recently too. I was like, where did this name even come from, and why did you spell it like you did? Because now I have to correct everybody. It's an I, like an igloo, not a Y. And he was like, I don't know. I was just out with my friends when I was 14. He's from Detroit, so they went to some shop that had the best sandwiches or something, and they were just there late at night. And he was 14, and he just thought Summer-Joi. That's what I'm gonna name my daughter. Yup. And then he just stuck with it. And I was like, okay,
Wow,
that's
I
fine.
think that's amazing. I believe in spiritual connection. He didn't even know the I on the end represents femininity, feminine energy, because my daughter, she's named Kennedy, but I spell it with an I on the end instead of a Y.
Oh, okay.
So
Got
your dad is dope. And I love
gotcha.
that he had that desire at 14 and look how it manifests to now.
Yes. I'm the child that gives him the most headache. So
Well, we won't say that. Say the most challenging. You always have and
yes.
I'm a mom, so I'll say I have one child that challenged me a little bit more than the other. So look at it like that.
Yes. Yes.
With that
Definitely.
being said, we're going to move into um, the podcast. And the
Mhm.
part of the podcast, I always ask my guests to share a life changing event using lyrics from a song. But there are rules to this, honey. Now, if
Mhm.
you can sing, Honey, you need to sing your throat box out. If you can rap, I need you to rap, okay? But if you can't
Okay.
do any of those, I need you to do it boldly. Boldly. You have to say what you need to say boldly. So, with that being
Oh
said,
Lord.
am I scaring you?
Okay. Yeah, a little bit because I can't do any of them.
Well, that's okay. I can't sing. I try to rap, I try to sing, but at the end of the day, I have enough energy and spirit to get the lyrics out. So that's what I want you to do is to get the lyrics
Okay.
out. So can you give me some lyrics of a song that has really, really made a difference in your life? Um, it has either blessed you or it was a distraction for you, like something you like, oh my gosh, it was a distraction, or it
Mm.
taught you some life lessons.
Okay. One that changed my life. There's one that recently came out. I can't rap it because she raps so fast. It's hard for me to catch up. But oh God. Okay, how do I rap this?
Or you could just say it. I mean,
Okay.
whichever way you feel comfortable.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna just say the lyrics because she really raps really fast and I can barely keep up. So,
Okay.
but the song is called It Just Came Out Recently. It's by my favorite rapper. Her name is Chica.
Oh,
And yeah, she released a song called Requiem for a Dream. And it
oh,
starts
wait,
with
wait, wait. I
saying,
need you to slow that down. First of all, I need you to pronounce that again because it's somebody that's listening and they want to tap in. So say it one
oh,
more
got you.
time.
So the name of the song is Requiem for a Dream
Wow. Okay.
by Chica. Chika. That's her name. She's a rapper. Um, and it starts with saying, um, it starts with saying, I get racked up in mythical schisms of visions at times, searching for thrills in my mind, pedantic with antics like I ain't got bills on my mind, running away from reality. That's a fatality I can't avoid just by taking my time. The thought of mortality keeps me alive. Game of the fittest, I want to survive. Am I a bird? Am I a plane? Or just a stoner that got too high? Maybe I fell on the spectrum somewhere they can't answer. Why often I just want to cry. Even that lyric above is a lie. I'm too afraid that I really meant die. All of my friends would just worry, and my family can't take another goodbye. So I yield only to melody. She starts singing this part. Um, she says, I yield only to melodies that make you feel everything's okay. Darkness can't go away. Oh, I'm all right with pretending that all's well. My well's not ending. We'll be okay. That's what I'll sing today. And then she says, fuck, I'm delusional. And then it has another verse.
Wow.
Yes. I love her
Yes.
so much.
That okay, this is like super dope. It's very deep. It's spiritually connected. So
Mm.
what in these lyrics that attracted you? Was it the first time you heard it you like, "Wait a minute, what is this?" Or did you have to hear it multiple times to say, "Okay, wait a minute. She's saying something. I'm feeling it." How did you become attracted to this particular lyrics?
So Chica herself, a lot of her lyrics hit very deep, and you kind of have to listen to them over and over again because it has multiple layers to it. First time I listened to it, I was like, okay, this song's really pretty because she'll rap on an 808 beat. It's a really deep beat, and then she'll sing that chorus part and then go back to rapping. And so like you're thrown for like a thrill ride. It's a really nice party song. But then once you start listening to the lyrics, like when she says, why I just often want to cry, even that lyric is a lie. I'm too afraid that I really meant die. I was like,
Wow.
okay, now we're getting a little personal. So
Yes.
yeah, I had to do like I've been stressed out. I left my first IT job because I got really, really, really stressed out, and I was just taking on everything for everyone. And oftentimes I really wanted to cry, but then I was like, did I really want to cry, or did I just want to get away from anything, everything? And I haven't even told my family, but I've thought of just cutting the cord. I was done with it all.
Well,
America
okay,
was too
so we,
much.
we need so I need you to pause right there.
Mhm.
What was that moment that you feel like you wanted to cut the cord? And the reason why I'm having you to revisit this is somebody somewhere
Mhm.
that has thought in that moment. And I want you to tell them why you thought that, but also why you didn't do it and why it's not necessary.
So I did a lot for my job. I put in over 40 hours week after week, busting my ass just to help out in every way I could. We were always short staffed in some way. There was always something going on. So I would really stick my neck out to really help the job. But it just felt like the return on that wasn't coming through. But it did, because I ended up doing like some, you know, inner dialogue, inner searching to find out what I really learned from that job, what I really gained from that experience those 4 years. And I actually gained a lot. So after looking at it that way, I was like, well, I don't have to stay here. I can
Okay,
leave. The
that's a
only
word.
issue was,
That's a word. That is a word.
but
So many times, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You do not
Mhm.
have to stay here, whether it's physically or spiritually, going back to what you're saying that you wanted to end it all. You don't have to stay in that space. And that's the
Right.
part I really want to drive on. So go ahead.
The only reason why the job got so stressful is because one, when I left, I was making $27 an hour roughly, 27.40, a little more than that. But the thing was, I was the main breadwinner of my family, and my family is split in households. There's my dad's house, and I was helping pay with rent there, the rent and the bills there. I have my own apartment, and I had to, pay rent here and deal with all the bills. And there was my sister and her family and her issues going on, and then my mom leaving town and having to go deal with her issues. So I was getting stretched really thin when having to provide, and I just wasn't ready to be that person for my family. Even though I really, really wanted to, and I was making so much money, I figured, okay, I could. It just, that mindset was, I wasn't ready to be that person for them. So again, yeah, I left the job because I was doing too much for them. And if I wanted to support my family, I needed to find something else because I'm not going to give them up. So I left the job, and then I took on something less demanding of my mental space so I could have it back and take more time for myself to figure out what it is I really wanted out of life. Because something else was, someone said everything in the end is completely not worthless, but it means like absolutely nothing. Because one day
Mm,
even the earth is going to explode and or run into the sun or something like that. Something's going to happen, and everything you've done is going to get wiped out by things that nobody can control. And I was like,
that's a
fair enough.
perspective. That's a perspective.
Yeah. So
Wow.
they were like, live your life. That's all you can do right now, is live your absolute life. Get away from everything that you can if you can. And if you can't, make a space for yourself. And then, just constantly go to that space, but don't wear that space out, because then you'll get tired of it too.
Yes.
So find different spaces for yourself.
Do you think also too, you had mentioned that you were giving over 40 hours. Did you have a moment where you felt like you could not speak up and say yes or no? I believe in no. I believe in no because no will protect you when you need to protect yourself. Do you think
Mhm.
some of it was you not speaking up for yourself and say, hey, I can't do this, or not necessarily that you can't, but you needed that space to take a break?
No. So the one of the blessings that I found after searching through, like, like why I was upset with the job, was they gave me so much space to really be myself, and to really, if I needed to say something, I could. So, I've had a lot of conversations with my manager, telling him all of my frustrations and things like that. So I was very comfortable, you know, being like, I'm not doing this because of X, Y, and Z, or don't even, look this way. I'm not the one, I can't help you. Um, or, telling him that I need time away. I've gone AWOL on them a couple times too, where I just no call, no show. They couldn't find me. I didn't answer my phone calls or whatever, but that's when I was in like my darkest spaces. And they were still very welcoming, where they're just like, it's fine if you need time for yourself. Just don't go AWOL. Let somebody know where you are. And
Yes.
I was like, okay, fair enough. So it was just the fact that I spread myself too thin willingly without realizing it. So it wasn't really their fault, it was mine.
Wow. So you learned a lot in those 4 years, and you know what benefits you and what does not benefit you now.
Yes, yes.
That's amazing. Wow. Well, thank you for being transparent and sharing that. I know a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times people would not share that piece, but to me, when we share these things, it shows that we are human, that we all have challenges and struggles. And if someone right now is going through what you've already been through, what would you say to them to encourage them?
So if you find yourself in a dark space and it looks like you're not going to be able to get out, or you're just going to be stuck there forever, you'll have to make a choice for yourself. Am I going to give up, or am I going to make a change for myself? Is it going to be for me, or is it going to be because of everything else? The only thing you can control is yourself.
Yes.
Everything else, let it go. You can't do a darn thing about it. And if people get mad, oh well, that's on them.
Honey, you just gave some wisdom. She said, only thing you can control is yourself. The rest, let it go. That is some wisdom. That is some wisdom. Because anytime on this platform, I want to be able to reach someone that hadn't had the opportunity to look at things from a different perspective. And I'm so thankful that you're able to give that perspective. As we transition into, I have what is called give and gather segment.
Mhm.
I give the questions, or I gather the questions and you give the answers.
Okay.
So, are you ready, young lady?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Can you tell me a song as a child you sung this song and you enjoyed the song, and when you became an adult you're like, Wait, excuse, they said this and I've been dancing and saying this and had no idea what it was. Can you share a particular lyric?
Ooh, okay. Is it okay if it's kind of like slightly implicit?
Yes, just give it to me, but kind of, leave it a
Okay, so
little.
the song is, you remember the song Too Close by Next?
Yes.
So it's that song. I don't know why, but my entire life, one, I grew up singing it wrong entirely. I didn't look at the lyrics until recently, like a few years ago recently, and I was like, first of all, I thought the song was about incest, and then I was just like, okay, maybe it's not, because
Wait,
I thought
wait,
they
you
were
thought it
cousins.
was about what?
Incest. Because I thought it was
Oh,
like cousins, family reunion or whatever. Because the lyrics, I was like, he's out of I don't know where I got that idea from. Like, why is he writing on his family members? It's gross.
well, that's why
But it
we're
was
here
still
to
about.
unpack these lyrics so we can understand together.
Yes. So it's just like, okay. I listened to it again a few years ago, and I was like, okay, I didn't know that that's what he was talking about. I didn't know that's where we were, but okay. So
So give us a
that
little
song.
piece.
Okay, so um, okay, Lord. So I'll start with the very first verse where he's like, I wonder if she can tell I'm hard right now. And
Okay.
that's where I was like, okay, so where are we going with this? And then it's just the whole, yeah, come and dance for me, yada yada yada. You feel that, right? And I didn't realize they were dancing, and she was,
Oh, so it
anyways.
was physical contact.
Yeah, I didn't
Yes.
realize that either. I was just like, okay, dear Lord, here we go. Okay. So the song is still a bop, so you're just in it, right? But then you keep going, and he's like, oh my God, we're grinding. I get so excited. how I like it. I try, but I can't fight it, you know?
Oh,
But I was
yes,
just
I
like,
know that's okay. Oh.
and I was just like, we're doing too much. We're doing way too much.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I grew
You
up with
know,
that song being wrong the entire time.
wow. So now you know he was out on the dance floor and he's describing his experience on the dance floor. But prior to that, you thought it was
A
something.
dude at a family reunion dancing with his cousins, grinding up on his cousins being weird. And I was like, okay, the song's about, but we're weird. Like, this is weird.
Wow. That just goes to
Yeah.
show, and I say this all the time, how infectious the beat of the music is, the lyrics blend in, and
Yes.
we're bopping, we're dancing,
Yes.
we're popping our fingers, we're enjoying, and sometimes we don't know exactly what's being said.
What we're
So
dancing to. Yes. It was,
that was
and
a
it came
great,
out in 1997. So,
wow, great example. And you knew what year it came out. Go ahead, girl.
yeah.
So I believe that when a group sings a song together, it is high energy. Like, for example, you see a group singing Happy Birthday together. It's a high
Mhm,
energy song, and typically it just brings everybody together. Can
mhm.
you provide a song that you've sung together as a group, or you see sung together as a group that is high energy, high elevation song?
Um, so my mind immediately goes to, and there's not many lyrics to it, but every time it's played in any setting, you see people getting up and running to go dance, and that's the Cupid Shuffle.
Oh,
There's
okay.
always, always a
Yes.
shift in it. They play that, everyone and their mother is they're gonna go dance whether they know the dance or not, and everybody's to the right, to the right, to the right, to the everybody.
Yes.
So
Yes.
everyone,
Even the ones
kids,
that's
older,
sitting down, even the ones that's sitting down is
yes,
participating.
yes, everyone and their mother gets up.
That's a
So
good
that song,
one.
that's the one.
That's a good one. And I don't think anybody has said that on the show yet. So you're the first with that one. But that is definitely a good one. Can
Hmm.
you describe a artist that you had the first opportunity to purchase on your own? It was nobody influenced you. It wasn't your mom, it wasn't your dad. You're like, I like this particular artist and I want to purchase. And you purchased it on your own. And why was this particular artist the one you purchased?
So my first music purchase was when I was like really young. I was obsessed with Chris Brown when he was released. Yes, loved him. Yo, yes. Pretty
I
girl,
love
have you
Chris
seen
Brown,
her?
so I'm not gonna front. I love Chris
Yes,
Brown too.
yes. So I got that entire album. I had just gotten a phone. I had just gotten some birthday money as well. And I wanted a ringtone. That's when you still had to go and buy ringtones. So I got his the album was Damage on it for some reason. Damage was the song I bought first, and then I got the rest of the album. But I don't know why I was obsessed with Damage.
And Damage, tell us something about that song that attracted you to that song.
One of the songs is really, really pretty. Um, and then two, it when you listen to it, it's him being remorseful about, hurting a girl that he was dating. He would say damaged, um, what's the lyric? The damage that I've caused you. I know that you've been hurt. Um, and I know I did you wrong. Look at the damage that I've caused.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, look at Chris Brown being,
Yes.
look at him. So I was
He,
like, oh my God, yes.
yes. Whenever you can make amends or you say, I did wrong, please, forgive me, or to acknowledge it,
Yes.
I think it's always great. So Chris Brown was your first purchase. on your own with
Yes, I
no
love that
family
man.
influence.
Yes.
All right, shout out to Chris Brown. Let's give
Yes.
him a hand.
We love Chris Brown.
Name a song of your favorite artist. Do you have a favorite artist and name a song of that favorite artist?
I have so many favorite artists. I have
Well,
so many.
pick one of your many
Okay.
favorite.
Okay. A recent favorite that I had learned about a couple years ago is Tank and the Bangas.
Yes, from New Orleans, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Roller coasters. That is my song.
Oh, that is so dope. They're not mainstream yet. I saw them, I think about 4 or 5 years on Tiny Desk, 4 or 5 years
Yes,
ago. I
yes,
love that. It's so pretty. I'm glad you remind when we
yes,
get off, I'm gonna play that song. It's so pretty.
yes. I played it this morning and I was like, and the reason why I love roller coasters is because it's you don't realize it when she's talking about it, she's describing the emotions and the thrills and the ups and downs of romance and love
Yes.
until she says it at the end. And I was like,
Yes.
okay, I love this
Yes.
song.
Yes.
So yeah, they're my favorite since I found them a few years ago.
Wow, super dope. Yeah, that I have to agree with you. Very just oh my gosh, everything they do because she does a little bit of rapping and she does a
Yes,
little bit of singing, but it's
yes.
just I don't know. How would you describe her? She's a little bit of Erica Badu, a little bit of what's it, Andre 3000
Oh, I love him.
with
Yes.
I don't know, a drop of something else.
I say she's like slam poetry, but with she's musical slam poetry.
Okay, I would actually go with that. You're absolutely right. And
Mm-hmm.
I did find out she was a poet before she got into the music industry. So that
Yeah.
makes sense. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good one. Yeah, she is definitely amazing.
Yes,
So
love her.
can you tell me something that you've learned from either a family member, a friend, or a foe? And what I mean by a foe, someone that's an enemy that you've had confrontations with, but you're like, okay, I've learned something from that person, whatever it may be. Can you share something that you've learned?
So I wouldn't call them foes right now, but I my high school best friend and I were not friends anymore. But as soon as we graduated, we all moved out and moved in together in an apartment. We thought we were all good, everything was cool or whatever, but we ended up falling out. One of them had gotten pregnant and it had just turned into this whole fiasco. But what I learned was none of us really had any real communication when it came to adulting. So we weren't talking about how much we were all going to pay for rent. So we had a falling out about that and sharing the bills and sharing a space and pets and plans for the future and things like that. Because some of them were ready to really get settled down right then and there, and some of us were like, no, we're not about that life right now. So we're good on that. But having a conversation with your friend, period, about just adult, quote unquote, adult things like bills and your future plans and your ideas of life and whatnot is actually a really um good thing to do, especially when you're really young, something to really start practicing with your friends. One, you'll learn very quickly who your friends are through those
Oh, huh?
conversations.
That's across the board, honey. Yes.
Yes. So, like, I met my current best friend from the Tech Impact class, and we moved in together because of our situations. And immediately, she wanted to have those conversations, and she was like, "Let's, talk about this." She's a very warm and welcoming person. So to meet somebody like that, that you'll meet you at your level and work with you, is very nice to have. But there are some people who you shouldn't share everything with, like even your family. I'll tell on myself to my mother. I tell my mother absolutely everything. Some things she doesn't even want to hear, but I'm like, I don't know who else to tell. You're my mom. You're set. You're gonna get
Wow.
it. So
Wow.
some things you can't tell everybody, but there are some conversations you have to have with certain people if you plan to keep them in your life.
Well, I think communication is definitely the key, and I love how you highlighted it from your point of view. But definitely, and it never stops. It never stops. Not just because
Mhm.
you moved in with a friend. It's in relationships, whether it's an intimate relationship, whether it's friends relationship, whether it's sister relationship, and I can go on and on. Communication
Yeah.
is definitely the key. And you are absolutely right. You will be able to identify who is for you and who is not for you by what they communicate. Just
Yes.
saying. I have a little bit of
Yes.
experience on that end.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes. With that being said, I am so thankful that you said yes to me to come on. I so appreciate you. And before we get out of here, would you
Mhm.
please tell us or share with the audience any social media platforms, any upcoming projects you have, anything you would like to share pertaining you and your business?
Um, so for quick IT help, one announcement is we're working with the city of Las Vegas to offer more classes more frequently, um, for different, levels of things, beginner computer use classes, beginner programming classes, things like that. And those will start possibly as soon as August, we're hoping. And then
Congratulations.
you can see the calendar on our website, quickithelp.net. We're still building up our social media presence, but we are on LinkedIn. We also are trying to get into more events around the city, so we're trying to support the community. If there's anything that anybody wants us to be a part of, to come out and either teach an IT class for them, speak on IT, yada yada, they can send it to our email, help at quickit dot no yeah help at quickithelp.net. There's two helps
Great.
in there.
Is there any numbers or just a email that you provided?
There is a phone number. It rings to my phone. It's 702-789-1071.
Okay,
So we
awesome.
mentioned it that way.
And you did mention social media. Is it any social media handles that you would like to give out?
So our LinkedIn, you can find us. Ooh, the link is pretty long, but it's linkedin.com/company quick dash IT dash help dash LV for Las Vegas. So, or
Okay.
you can just search quick IT help and we'll pop up.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm just I'm so excited for your journey. I love the transparency that you provided. I know you're going to do some amazing things, and you have
Absolutely.
a plethora of support with your dad, your sister. You're in the environment to continue to grow. Where do you see
Mm-hmm.
yourself maybe a year from now with what you're doing now?
Ooh, so a year from now, I have very ambitious plans. Sometimes plans that are a little, unrealistic. But a year from now, I see myself beginning the kickoff for my passion project, the largest part of the passion project for that dev environment. So I see myself in a lot of communications and meetings with people about getting that started, what the needs are of the dev community and the IT things that are needed for that. So that's where I see myself in a year.
Okay, we're just gonna will it back just a little. You said a passion
Mhm.
project. You just kind of dab. Can you give us a little bit more information before we get out of here about it?
Um, so the passion project is, again, I want to be the Willy Wonka of IT, or the development side of IT. So I want to create an environment where I can um, enhance and or promote creativity and innovation and things like that. And I want it to be real innovation and projects and things coming out of this center. So that's the idea.
I think that's amazing, and we know that technology is not going to stop. It's going to go forward. I do believe in technology, but I also believe in a balance. We have to make sure we're part of the natural world as well. And we can dab into the technology. So I think it's a balance, but I'm
Yeah.
all for these things that going into this new world of technology.
Right.
We have no other choice. Either we're going to be with it or we'll be left behind. I truly believe that. But again, I'm spiritual first. I believe in nature. And I think if we can combine all of that together, we'll be successful. So
Yeah.
before we get out of here, I always give my little spiel and I talk about the the journey is just as important as the destination. The journey is where you learn and where you grow, and the destination is where you rest and you celebrate. But the key to it all is not to stay in the destination too long. We got to get back up and get into that journey. So, my name is Halima. I thank you guys for coming on today and sharing this platform with me, and I appreciate everything. And hopefully, you guys don't follow me, but join me for the next episode of Message Reveal with an ED on the end. And before I get out of here, I always, anytime I have a woman on the platform, I bow to them. But before I bow to you, is there anything else that you would like to say, Miss Summer-Joi?
Um, Give us a look. If you need any help, give us a call.
There you go. There you go, girl. Plug your stuff. So we thank you so much. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for coming onto my platform and sharing your journey. And hopefully, as you get bigger, you'll come back and share some stuff with us and tell us about your journey, your new part of your journey. And I
Yeah.
thank you again. This has been Message Reveal, and I bow to you, my beautiful
Thank
lady,
you.
and
Thank
we will
you.
talk to you soon. Thank you. Yay,
Thank you.
summer
Thank you for having
joy.
me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.